Hello and welcome back to Chapter 2. We're going to see if maybe you can see this now. I'm really not sure what happened in the first part of the chapter, but we'll finish up this chapter by thinking about why would we even study these sociological trends. Certainly children have a need for understanding what's going on in their family experience, and also they have a need for you to have compassion for their family. Families need for you to reach out to them in ways that are both inviting and caring, and they need to know that you truly understand where they're at and help them to get to where they want to be. Certainly, we would hope that you would realize that the form of the family may not relate to their ability to function. A single parent and a child can function just as well as two parents with a child, and certainly we know that two grandparents raising their grandchildren can also be highly functional situation for children and a very healthy situation. So certainly we would hope that you would understand that today's families, although they may look different from your ideal family or the family that you grew up with, it is certainly still a wonderful situation, or could be a wonderful situation for the families and children you'll work with. In summary, we know that today's families have a lot of different pressures on them, and that it's really important to understand that these pressures are crucial to your work. If you'll remember from other classes where we've talked about Bronfenbrenner, you'll remember his theory has circles, and at the beginning of the circle, in the middle of the circle, is the child, and just outside the circle is the first circle in that system, and we know that that is where the family resides, and it is the closest circle to the child, and it certainly has the most impact on the child's life and on their ability to function well while they're in your center or in your school or in your care. Now, lastly, I'm going to encourage you to go back and look again at the 12 fictional families in our textbook. I'm holding my textbook, so you can see in these first families, we're just getting a little introduction into their life and understanding what's going on with them. You'll remember that we're going to work with Sylvia, who's 29 and lives alone with her sons. We're going to talk about Otis and Fanny Lawrence. Bob and Jane Weaver. The Rodriguez family will hold some interest in coming chapters. You'll also be looking at Mary Howard, and again, remember that was one of your extra credit opportunities. Susan Henderson, Sam and Lisa Butler, who get to see their parents, but their parents are separated. You'll see that we're going to learn about James Parker and Sam Leeper and their family. We're going to learn about Justin Martin and his grandparents, Nguyen Van Son, who has worked hard in this country, and we're learning more about his family, and Richard Stein and Roberta Howell. And lastly, looking at Ted Sawyer and Ted's family. So as we look at these families in our chapters, I certainly will encourage you to make note of their different situations and how we can relate to them best. I want to close by drawing your attention. I was trying to find the page to this. I don't know if you can see it. It was a little comic, and I believe it's on page 45, and it shows the little guy coming out the door, and he's like, "Mom, Mom." And if you look closely at it, Mom is carrying his lunchbox, and he is carrying the briefcase. This is funny in that it is just a good reminder that families have busy mornings, and children approach and enter our classrooms with already a lot of stuff going on that happened at home perhaps last night or over the weekend, or even as close as just this morning. And so certainly when children arrive in our care and in our educational settings, we want to think about how we can best meet their needs. And their needs are not just for the children, but also the needs for the families, and building that sense of community and good support for children is where we're headed. So I hope that you'll go back and look more closely at these 12 families. We will refer to them often. They will come back up chapter after chapter after chapter, because these are families that we can start to learn to relate to. Ideally, we would have real families we could work with, but I know that many of you do not already work in care situations or education situations, and so we're going to work with these kind of hypothetical families as we plan and as we think about how we can best meet their needs. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in Chapter 3. Bye-bye.